All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the thick of things, and we have a great hand. We have turn 2 Flayer, which is literally the dream. We even have turn 3 Tracker with a land drop to go with it. So, more on the play. Really couldn't ask for anything more than this. I think I want to get my second black mana in play, just in case I need to fire off this Languish and I just draw forests from here. I think it's pretty unlikely, but you always want to plan ahead. Looks like we might be up against a green-red ramp deck. Ooh, that's kind of annoying. So a removal spell is really what I want here. These green-red ramp decks usually don't play too many removal spells, so I think it's going to be safe to just play my Tireless Tracker here. Certainly a situation where Grim Flayer is not looking particularly hot. Man, imagine I cast this Pilgrimage on my turn. Ooh, that'd be so good. That Sylvan Advocate is going to become a 4/5 pretty quickly. But oh, this is good. So I get to play a land, and I get to shrink this Advocate so that both of my creatures can attack, which is quite nice. The one thing that it's a little bit of a problem, though, is with a land drop and a ramp spell, my opponent can make a Sylvan Advocate into a 4/5 and actually kill my Liliana. So that part's not actually so good. My opponent is playing a ramp deck. I mean, he's got to have a ramp spell 100%. So, oh, that's awkward. I don't really have that much more to do with my Liliana, though, which is a little bit of the problem. I mean, if I don't cast my Liliana, then I'm just not doing anything with my... Oh, wait, the -2/-1 persists until the next turn. Okay, so we're fine then. And now this is great. This is also nice, too, because between the Traverse and the Liliana, there's a good chance we're going to be able to make a... So, do I want to draw a Grim Flayer next turn? Probably not. I don't really want to draw Evolving Wilds either, though. So I've put them all in the graveyard, and I play Traverse. That means I'll have 3 types in the graveyard. I think I just don't want any of these cards. The fetch line's kind of nice because it's like 2 clues, but I kind of want something more impactful to do with my mana. Like just paying mana to draw cards against a ramp deck isn't really that great of an idea, I don't think. Ooh, Hedron Crawler, I can kill that. Oh, and I got my own Nissa, so that was way better than, 2 clues. So I have a few options here. I think step 1 is going to be to play my Nissa. Make a clue. So the one thing that's a little awkward is actually, there's a few things that are a little awkward here. So the most obvious play is to use Liliana to kill the Hedron Crawler. There's not a whole lot my opponent can do with just 6 mana. He will make his Sylvan Advocate a 4/5, though, which is a little annoying. I think that what I probably want to do is just kill the Hedron Crawler and crack a clue and hopefully find a removal spell. I don't really want to trade my Tireless Tracker for the Sylvan Advocate or Nissa. Or do I actually? Already drawn 2 cards out of, or gotten 2 clues out of the tracker. We can get it back with the Liliana. My opponent just takes the damage, plays a land, and attacks my Advocate, or my Liliana with the Advocate and Nissa. It's kind of a problem. So I think actually I'll just keep the tracker on defense so that I can double block the 4/5 Sylvan Advocate if it threatens my Liliana. This might actually be a game where I just try to ultimate Liliana. With these 2 traverses, I can easily flip the Nissa, which is also nice. It would have been sweet if one of those Evolving Wilds in my graveyard was a instant, because then I could have, just cast Traverse and have a Delirium. And I can Languish to just wipe the whole board. But I'm not actually sure if that's wise. Another Liliana. I do have to worry about something like a Chandra coming down. It's safe to crack a clue and reevaluate things. And I think I'm just going to Traverse, play a land, and Grim Flayer. And actually, I think I'll just Traverse. Yeah, I want to get my Tireless Tracker up to 5 toughness. Three, 6. And I think I want to save this other Traverse for a potential Emrakul. So I'm letting my opponent draw a free card off of Nissa, but I should be able to hold with this Tireless Tracker, and oh, it's annoying. I was going to say next turn I'll have enough mana to flip my Nissa and then Languish, but will not be the case. So as long as my opponent can't cast Ulamog, I should be okay. 7, 8, 9. Hedron Crawler is 10. Ulamog would be really unfortunate. Not sure if there's anything I can actually do about that. do not have Delirium. Ooh, that's good, actually. Don't think I can actually use it that profitably, though. We played a land for this turn. This does mean that I can turn on Delirium, though, with this ultimate price. So, if I can weather it through this turn and my opponent doesn't have Ulamog, I can probably do some good work. If my opponent does have Ulamog, it's going to be an uphill battle. And actually, him getting Emrakul here is going to be a problem. But don't think there's a lot I can actually do about that. This game, I might have been able to, like, I probably could have pressured the Nissa a little bit more if I was willing to make some trades. But and now having this Languish in my hand is actually a pretty big liability. This is a game where I really wish I had been a more aggressive deck. The turn 2 Sylvan Advocate for my opponent did quite a bit. Yes, rather unfortunate. It's going to be pretty hard to win here. I do have 3 Ruinous Path I can draw to kill Emrakul. But it's mostly just taking. Ugh, so gross. Do you get to play Ishkanah? Oh, and we actually get to ultimate our Liliana. I think our opponent should have minused. That's pretty sweet. I mean, he does just kill us in 2 hits. Which is a problem. I wonder if there's any way we can win here. The fact that these things have reach is pretty irrelevant, and I can recur them with Liliana. My opponent has a Chandra here. That would be bad. Chandra let like sweep all the big stuff and then attack with the big stuff. Or sweep all the small stuff, attack with the big stuff. And I might as well just block all the trample damage I can. So that means I'll take 2 damage. Oops. Oh, he's got his own Ishkanah. Alright, so Murder, unfortunately, is an instant. If this had been Ruinous Path, I could actually kill this Emrakul. But it has protection from instants. Bit of a problem. So I could consider, normally getting Nissa here, which would be great, but it's just going to have to be Ishkanah. I'll get my trigger from Liliana. And believe that I can live through this turn. And Emrakul will knock me down to 2. And unfortunately, Ishkanah can draw another Traverse. This is probably game. Okay, Worldbreaker's not so bad. I do need to draw Ruinous Path, though. Oh, Kozilek's Return, that's bad. Okay, we're dead. And this is not a matchup for Languish. Definitely a matchup for Transgress and Duress. And probably Infinite Obliteration. The Grasping Darknesses don't seem particularly good. Ultimate Price doesn't seem particularly good either. I know my opponent's going to have some number of, Sylvan Advocates like we saw before. So I probably want some number of the ultimate prices. So I'll keep 2 of each. I could bring in the Dark Petition. It's like a little slow. It's pretty good with the Infinite Obliteration, though, so I suppose if I have Infinite Obliteration in the deck, I should just have the 2 petitions. I can find like extra copies of Ruinous Path when I needed to kill Emrakul anyway, so. And do I want Winnower? Kills Worldbreaker. Doesn't kill Advocate. Doesn't kill Nissa. Obviously it doesn't kill Emrakul. And it dies to a lot of stuff, so I don't think I want Winnower. So I'm just going to sideboard like this and see how it goes. And while this hand doesn't have a turn to Advocate, it has a lot of the things that we need for a good hand. And with the Traverse, we're like guaranteed a 3rd land drop to play our Nissa or Liliana on curve, so likely our Liliana. Ooh. So I think I want to play the Traverse here instead. Alright, no Advocate, that's good. So Grim Flayer's pretty nice here. I could certainly go Grim Flayer Duress, but does actually seem pretty good. Opponent does have some removal spells. I think I just want to play the Liliana here. I think the Liliana Ultimate's actually like kind of good. My opponent doesn't really have any good way to interact with Liliana. He does have like Kozilek's Returns, and I also saw the other thing, Fiery Impulse. So I think I do want to hit my land drops. So I'm going to play the Nissa here. I don't really need land drops per se. I think it is a good time to fire off this Duress. So my opponent has no ramp spells. Tracker, Breaker, Ulamog, Cinder, Forest, Temple. Kozilek's Return is like not a bad place for or the graveyard's not a bad place for Kozilek's Return, but and I will be able to ultimate price this tracker before it draws too many cards. Get that guy out of here. Now I can use my Flayer to either dig for another discard card like Transgress the Mind or land drops. Nissa's pretty far away from doing anything relevant. Really only takes one ramp spell to make it pretty troublesome, though. So I think actually the murder is probably worth it. Well, next turn we can play Nissa and another Grim Flayer, which is pretty nice. Liliana's pretty close to ultimating. So, what do I want to do here? Two, three, four, five, six, seven. My opponent's going to be able to play World Breaker next turn and wipe my board, which is really annoying. If he does do that, though, he'll lose his Nissa. I don't think that I really want any of these cards, so I want another land drop. I think what I'm probably going to do this turn is yeah, I don't want any of these cards. Kind of short on lands. I guess I do want the land. So now my opponent can play World Breaker and make things difficult for me. If he flashes back Kozilek's Return, he's going to lose his Nissa. I use my Liliana. I think really all I need to do is just hold on for this turn, and then I'll be able to ultimate Liliana. Yeah. We're just going to pass with our Murder mana open. If our opponent tries to play a ramp spell to flip Nissa, we can murder it. And if our opponent plays World Breaker, we can murder it end of turn. There's a chance that if our opponent plays World Breaker, he just doesn't flashback Kozilek's Return because he's so close to being able to flip his Nissa. So it looks like he's not on the Worldbreaker plan this turn. And it's probably a good time to murder this Nissa. And now we have to worry about Ulamog and Worldbreaker killing all of our lands, but at least we're going to have this Liliana ultimate. So that'll be pretty cool. If we had another land, we could actually do some good work here, but and I think we just want the Hissing Quagmire. I expect our opponent to start going after our lands, so I just want to make sure that I can build, like rebuild my mana base once it gets whacked by Ulamog, and try to overwhelm him with these zombies. This doesn't really seem like a winning proposition, though. It seems like we're both, decks that are based on Emrakul, but our opponent's kind of like the better Emrakul deck. Playing Hissing Quagmire here, even though I know my opponent has a Worldbreaker, because I want to be able to play an untapped land and then Grim Flayer and Sylvan Advocate on the upcoming turn. Ulamog does kill me in 2 hits, but man, I wish I had like a couple more cards in my library. Yeah, I actually just can't win, can I? Seems like a bad matchup. No way to kill Ulamog. And there's nowhere we're going to have enough cards in our graveyard. Well, unfortunate. On to the next one.